The final scene of Heartland Season 18 is the kind of moment that makes you stop and feel your heart tighten. It is not just another ending of a season, it is a quiet promise. A message hidden in silence and emotion. Fans who have followed Amy, Jack, Lou, and the rest of the Heartland family for years know how much every scene matters. And this last one is no different. It carries the weight of everything that came before it. It feels like a goodbye, but at the same time it feels like the beginning of something new. To understand why the final scene of Season 18 hits so deeply, we need to step back and see what led up to it. Heartland has always been a show about family, love, and healing. At its center is Amy Fleming. After losing Ty, her journey became one of strength and survival. She had to learn to live with pain while still finding hope in her daughter Lyndy. For many fans, Amy's struggle has been the heart of the series. She carries the spirit of Heartland inside her. As Season 18 moves toward its last moments, the story builds around the ranch and the family members who hold it together. Jack is still the strong pillar, the man who has carried the ranch through storms of life and who keeps reminding everyone what Heartland stands for. Lou continues to juggle her leadership role and her responsibility to family. Tim remains as stubborn and bold as ever, but even he shows his softer side when the family needs him. And Lyndy represents the future, a child growing up with the same love of horses and open land that Amy once did. In the episodes leading to the finale, the family is tested again. Small conflicts rise. Old wounds are touched. Dreams of the ranches. Future become harder to balance with the realities of life. But no matter the disagreements and struggles, one thing is clear. Heartland is not just a ranch. It is a place of memory, a place of healing. A place where every loss and every joy is written into the soil. By the time we reach the last scene in Season 18, the atmosphere is heavy with both pain and peace. The camera begins to slow down as if inviting the audience to breathe in the moment. The land spreads wide and endless. Horses move gently in the background. The sunset paints the sky with colors that seem too perfect to be real. And then the focus narrows. We see the family, standing close, sharing silence. No dramatic speeches are made. No grand actions are taken. Instead, what we see is something more powerful. We see stillness. We see unity. We see the quiet strength of a family that has survived everything together. The moment is built, not with words, but with glances. Amy looks at Lyndy with eyes full of both sorrow and hope. Jack stands strong, but his silence speaks more than words ever could. Lou's face shows the weight of responsibility, but also relief that despite everything, they are still here, still standing. Tim watches in a way that is almost protective, as if he finally accepts that the ranch is more than his battles. It is their shared home. What makes this setup so powerful is that the audience feels every heartbeat of the scene. After all the years of watching this family struggle grow and heal, fans know how much is hidden behind those silent looks. They know the unspoken truth that Heartland is more than just land and fences. It is a legacy, a story that will go on even when seasons end. What makes the last scene of Heartland Season 18 unforgettable is not a long speech or a shocking twist. It is silence, the kind of silence that feels louder than words. As the family stands together, the air between them is heavy, almost like the land itself is holding its breath. Viewers can sense it immediately. This is not just another quiet evening on the ranch. This is a moment when everything that happened across the season comes together, and the silence becomes the message. Amy is the center of this stillness. She does not need to say anything. Her eyes tell the story. For years, we have seen her carry the weight of loss and still find the strength to raise her daughter and keep the ranch alive. In this final moment, her face shows both the scars of her past and the light of her future. She glances toward Lyndy, and the bond between mother and daughter is clear. It is almost as if Amy is silently telling her child that no matter what changes, Heartland will always be their safe place, Jack. Standing tall as always is another silent anchor. His presence in the scene reminds us that time has passed, that generations have come and gone, but his spirit still protects the ranch. He does not speak because he does not have to. Every fan watching knows what Jack represents. He is the soul of Heartland, the one who carries its history in his heart. His silence is not emptiness. It is full of wisdom, full of unspoken words. He has already shared across all these years. Lou's silence feels different. She is the one who often carries the burden of leadership, the one who has to balance family with responsibility. In the final scene, her expression is softer, almost lighter. It is as if she is finally allowing herself to rest, even if just for a moment, knowing that they are all together. This brief pause gives her strength, a reminder that she is not carrying the weight alone. Even Tim, who is known for his strong opinions and fiery temper, stands quiet. For a character who often pushes against others, this silence shows change. It shows growth. His stillness feels like acceptance, a recognition that the ranch is bigger than him, bigger than his struggles. For once, Tim is not trying to control the moment. He is letting it exist, and that says more about him than any line of dialogue could. The scene builds not with sound, but with the way the camera lingers. It moves slowly across each face, across the golden fields behind them, across the horses grazing in the distance. The sunset grows deeper, painting the land with the colors of closure. Every frame feels deliberate, like a painting. The silence is not empty. Space it is the weight of 18 seasons resting gently on the shoulders of the family and on the hearts of the fans. And then there is the most powerful silence of all, the silence of what is not shown. There is no tie riding back, no sudden surprise, no last-minute revelation. The show resists the temptation to give fans an easy ending. Instead, it offers something more honest. Life continues, but not always in the way we expect. The silence becomes a reminder that endings are not always loud. Sometimes they are soft, gentle, and unforgettable. The final scene of Heartland Season 18 is not just about people standing together, it is about the land itself speaking. Every detail feels chosen to tell a story without words. The ranch, the horses, the sky. Even the way the wind moves through the grass, everything carries a deeper meaning. The camera lingers on the wide landscape before it shows the family. This is no accident. The land has always been the true foundation of Heartland. The ranch is more than wood and fences. It is memory. It is history. It is every moment of pain and joy that this family has faced. By showing the land first, the scene reminds us that no matter what happens to the people, the land remains. It holds their legacy. It holds their future. The horses are another silent symbol. They're not just animals grazing in the background. They represent freedom, healing, and the unbreakable bond between humans and nature. For Amy especially, horses are her voice. They are how she heals, how she connects, how she carries forward Ty's memory. Seeing them in the final frame is a reminder that Heartland will always be a place of second chances. Horses bring people back to life here, and they will continue to do so for generations to come. Then there is the sky. The colors of the sunset feel almost like a painting. Orange and gold spreading across the horizon. The light is soft, not harsh, as if the day is ending in peace. But the sunset is not just an ending, it is also the promise of a new day. Dual meaning mirrors the scene itself. The season is ending, but life at Heartland continues. The sunset does not bring darkness. It brings hope for tomorrow. Even the smallest details carry meaning. Jack's weathered hands resting on his belt. Lou standing just a step behind him, showing respect but also partnership. Amy's gentle touch on Lyndy's shoulder, a silent reminder that the next generation is already here, ready to inherit everything Heartland stands for. Tim still stands, his eyes softened in a way we rarely see, as if he is finally letting go of his pride and simply being part of the family. These choices are not random. They are visual symbols layered into the scene to speak to fans who have watched for years. Every glance, every shadow, every quiet movement is loaded with history. When Amy looks at Lyndy, she is not only seeing her daughter, she is seeing the future. When Jack stares out at the horizon, he is not only looking at land, he is seeing the story of his life written across it. When the horses move calmly in the background, it is not just nature. It is the reminder that the cycle of life and healing never stops. The brilliance of this final scene is how it lets these symbols do the talking. Instead of giving a clear answer about what happens next, it gives images that fans can carry with them. It allows each viewer to see their own meaning. For some, the sunset is closure. For others, it is a promise of new beginnings. For some, the horses remind them of loss. For others, they remind them of freedom. This is why the scene feels so powerful. It does not tell you what to feel. It allows you to feel it in your own way. The land, the horses, the sky, and the family standing together, they are not just part of the story, they are the story. And in this final scene, they become one timeless picture that will stay with fans long after the screen fades to black. When the screen slows down and the last images of Heartland Season 18 settle into silence, fans are not just watching characters on a ranch, they are watching pieces of themselves. For many, Heartland is more than a show, it has been a companion. Through their own struggles and joys, the final scene carries that history and gives it back in one soft, powerful wave of emotion. For viewers who have followed Amy since she was a young girl, the sight of her standing strong, yet gentle in the closing moments brings a mix of pride and sorrow. They remember the laughter she once shared with Ty, the heartbreak of losing him, the quiet strength it took to move forward. To see her now, steady with her daughter by her side, is to witness the journey of resilience. Fans feel as if to have walked that path with her. Jack's presence strikes a different chord. He is the constant, the steady hand, who has guided not just Amy, but everyone in the family. Fans see him and feel a sense of safety, the way a child feels when they know someone wiser is watching over them.
Ow.
Yet in this final scene, Jack's silence reminds viewers of time's passing. His hair is grayer, his shoulders a little heavier, and that touches the heart in a painful but beautiful way. It reminds us that life does not stand still, but wisdom and love can anchor us even as the years move on. Lou's softer expression resonates with fans who understand the pressure of carrying responsibility. Many viewers have seen themselves in Lutha's struggles of leadership, the fear of failing the people you love, it's the exhaustion of being the one everyone depends on. Watching her let go in that final moment, even briefly, feels like permission for fans to let go too. It is a moment of shared relief, a quiet sigh that says, you don't have to hold everything all the time. Tim's silence carries its own surprise. Fans who have long argued about Tim, loved him, hated him, defended him, criticized him find themselves caught off guard by this quiet version of him. In that moment, his fiery edges seem softened, his pride seems less sharp. For some viewers, this is healing. For others, it is forgiveness. It shows that even the most stubborn hearts can learn to rest, but the deepest emotional pull comes from the ranch itself. The sight of the open fields, the horses, the golden sky awakens memories. Viewers recall scenes of Amy training horses, Ty working with her, Georgie growing up, Mallory laughing, Scott helping, and so many more moments that shaped 18 seasons. The land has held all those memories, and as the final scene closes, fans feel as though they are standing there too, part of that family, part of that history. The emotions left behind are layered. Some feel closure. Some feel hope. Others feel the ache of time passing, the bittersweet truth that nothing lasts forever. But all feel connected. Connected to Amy. Connected to Jack. Connected to the spirit of Heartland. This is the rare kind. Of ending that does not push viewers away, pulls them closer, wrapping them in the warmth of everything they have shared for nearly 2 decades. The power of the final scene lies in its ability to leave fans with both tears and comfort. It hurts because it is so quiet, so gentle. But it heals because it reminds us that family, love, and memory never really end. They simply live on in new ways, just as the sun sets only to rise again. The beauty of the last scene in Heartland, Season 18, is that it does not shut the door. It leaves it slightly open, as if inviting us to step through and imagine what might come next. For fans who have spent years with these characters, the silence at the end does not feel final. It feels like a pause before another story begins. Amy's presence in this moment carries the strongest hint of the future. She does not ride away, nor does she walk off the screen. She stands still, looking at the horizon, almost as if she is measuring the distance ahead. This is not the body language of someone finished. It is the stance of someone waiting for the next challenge, the next chapter. Her eyes, filled with both memory and resolve, suggest that her journey is far from over. For fans, this small detail is enough to spark hope that Amy's story will continue to grow in new directions. Then there is Lyndy. The camera does not ignore her. In fact, it lingers just long enough to remind us that she is the next chapter of Heartland. Her small frame beside Amy is not only a sign of innocence, it is a sign of inheritance. Everything Heartland represents, all the lessons learned, all the love given, now belongs to her too. The way Amy rests her hand gently on Lyndy's shoulder feels like a transfer of legacy. It's an unspoken promise that the ranch will one day belong to her. Fans who have watched Amy grow now see the same light beginning to shine in Lyndy. Jack's gaze in the final scene holds another clue. He does not look only at the family. He looks out toward the land, as though seeing beyond what is in front of him. This lingering look suggests something more, perhaps decisions that still need to be made about the ranch, about the future, about how to keep Heartland alive for generations. It is a look filled with both pride and concern, a subtle reminder that even with unity, challenges will come again. Lou's moment of softness also hints at change. She has been defined by duty, by the heavy crown of responsibility. Yet, in this scene, her body language tells a different story. It is lighter, freer, almost like a woman finally learning balance. For fans, this is a sign that Lou's role might shift in the coming future. Perhaps leadership will not consume her as much. Perhaps she will finally allow herself to live more fully, opening new stories for her and the people she loves. Even Tim's silence feels like a clue. A man who has always fought against others, always carried his pride like a weapon, now chooses stillness. This is not just character growth, it is a turning point. The possibility that Tim may change, may soften, may embrace family in a deeper way is written in that quiet. It suggests that Season 19 could show a Tim we have never seen. Before one who understands more than he argues, the ranch itself offers the final promise. The open fields, the grazing horses, the endless horizon, these images do not feel like an ending. They feel like a foundation. God, if the land itself is saying, stories do not end here, they grow here. Every season of Heartland has shown us that the ranch is not only a place of healing, but also a place of beginnings. The final scene continues that tradition. It whispers that new stories are waiting, that the spirit of Heartland will not fade. What makes this ending so unique is its refusal to give easy closure. Instead, it plants seeds. Seeds of Amy's future, Lyndy's growth, Jack's wisdom, Lou's change, Tim's quiet transformation. Seeds that fans can carry with them, wondering which will bloom when the next season arrives. And so the silence at the end is not empty. It is full of potential, full of promise. Full of tomorrow, the ending of Season 18 feels powerful not only because of what it shows, but because of what it echoes. Longtime fans who remember the very first season of Heartland will notice something almost invisible at first, the way the final scene mirrors the beginning. It is as if the story has quietly folded in on itself, reminding us that the roots of Heartland are still alive. Even after all the years and all the changes, in the first season, Amy was not the woman we see now. She was young, uncertain, still, trying to find her voice. Her connection to horses was her gift, but also her burden. When Ty entered her life, she learned to lean on someone else, to share her strength and her fears. But in the final scene of Season 18, Amy stands not as a girl learning, but as a woman who has already survived the deepest loss and still chosen to live. The way she looks out at the horizon is the same way she once looked at her future as a teenager. Only now her gaze is steadier, wiser, richer. This quiet reflection takes us back to the Amy we first met and shows us how far she has come. Jack's role in this circle is even more striking. In the early years, he was the rock who held everything together, the one who guided Amy and Lou. After Marion's death, he was the steady hand teaching, scolding, and protecting. And now, in the closing frames of Season 18, he is still that rock, but there is a difference. He no longer has to teach Amy how to stand strong. He no longer has to shield her from the storms of life. She has become his equal. The way Jack looks at her now is the way a proud elder looks at someone who has fully grown into their own. That look is not just about Amy. It is about the entire journey of Heartland. Lou too carries the echo of the beginning. Back then she struggled to find her place, torn between the life she built outside the ranch and the pull of family. She was often restless, often questioning. Now, in this final scene, she stands calmer. Her presence beside the family shows that she has found her balance. The Lou who once resisted the weight of Heartland now stands as one of its protectors. It is a subtle but powerful circle, showing her growth as both a leader and a sister. And then there is the land itself. In Season 1, the ranch was scarred by grief. Marion's death left an emptiness that seemed impossible to fill. Yet the same land we saw then is what we see in Season 18's ending. Only now, instead of grief, the fields hold peace. Instead of emptiness, there is fullness. The land has healed just as the family has. It is the same horizon, but with a different story written across it. That visual echo ties the ending back to the beginning, reminding fans that Heartland has always been a story of cycles of endings that lead to beginnings, of pain that gives birth to hope. Even Lyndy's small figure in the closing shot connects the circle. In many ways she mirrors young Amy, the same innocence, same quiet curiosity about the world, the same natural bond with horses. Watching Amy place her hand on Lyndy's shoulder is like watching Marion place her hand on Amy all those years ago. The circle is complete. The story has returned to where it began, but with new faces, new lessons, and new hope. This is what makes the final scene so hauntingly beautiful. It does not simply close a chapter, it reflects the entire book. It tells the audience, look how far we've come, but remember where we started. For fans who have been there since the first season, it feels like a gentle hand on the shoulder, reminding them that their journey with Heartland has always been about growth, healing, and the unbreakable ties of family. The circle is complete, but it is not closed. And that is why the ending feels both final and open at the same time. As the final scene of Heartland Season 18 fades into the colors of the sunset, one truth lingers: it is not just an ending, it is a bridge. A bridge between everything the show has been for 18 seasons and everything it could still become. The family stands together, the land spreads wide, the horses move softly, and in that moment, the story does not feel finished. It feels alive. For longtime fans, this ending is like holding a photograph. It freezes a single moment in time, but that moment carries the weight of years. It holds the laughter of the early days, the heartbreak of Ty's loss, the resilience of Amy's strength, the wisdom of Jack's guidance, the struggles and triumphs of Lou and Tim, and the innocence of Lyndy stepping into her future. All of that lives inside this one quiet picture, and when the screen finally fades, it stays alive in the hearts of the audience. What makes this ending so powerful is its honesty. It does not offer a grand farewell. It does not tie every thread into a neat bow. Instead, it gives something more true to life. Life rarely ends with a clear conclusion that feel open, with promises that tomorrow will bring both challenges and hope. Heartland's final scene captures that truth perfectly. It is not a curtain closing. It is a door left ajar. And that open door leaves fans with questions that are not heavy, but hopeful. What paths will Amy take next? How will Lyndy grow into her role as the future of Heartland? Will Jack continue to guide the family, or will the next generation step forward? Will Lou finally find peace between her duties and her heart? Will Tim hold on to the quiet acceptance we saw in this moment, or will the fire inside him rise again? These are not questions that break the scene. They are questions that make it linger. They are the seeds of anticipation, the reason fans will wait and hope for season 19. The silence at the end is not empty. It is filled with voices from the past, with the laughter of Marion, the memory of Ty, the journeys of Georgie, Mallory, and so many others who have walked across this ranch. It is filled with the spirit of family and the echo of every lesson Heartland has ever given. That is why when the final shot fades, fans do not feel abandoned. They feel embraced. They feel like part of the family still standing in that field, still watching the sunset, still carrying the story forward in their hearts. And so the final scene of Heartland Season 18 becomes something rare. It is not just an ending for a show. It is a living reminder of why the story matters. It is a moment that whispers, "This is not goodbye. This is home." And home never leaves you. Even as the credits roll, the feeling remains. Quiet promise, a gentle hope, a belief that Heartland's story, like the land, like the family, like the love it celebrates, will go on.